Well, thank you. Before we start, I think it's appropriate while everyone's in the audience, let's give a round of applause to the staff of the Marriott for doing such a great job here today. The room is great. I think we're real excited, so it's my pleasure to welcome you today and say good afternoon and thank you for attending this year's State of the City address. I want to thank the Fremont Chamber of Commerce for hosting today's luncheon. Over the past few years, we have set out to change the course and change the way the city of Fremont operates. No longer would we think or act like a typical municipal government. Instead, we would be bold, visionary, and we would take a page from the playbooks of Silicon Valley companies. We would push the envelope and embrace the entrepreneurial spirit. That's something you won't typically see in a city government. With this way of thinking comes some risk, and we learn from our experiences and continue moving forward. That has become the Fremont way. One thing that we've shown is when our departments work together, the public wins. I would like to thank City Manager Fred Diaz and the management staff and all the city employees for making Fremont a forward-thinking, innovative city that's turning heads not just within the Bay Area, but throughout the nation. I would also like to introduce my colleagues on the Fremont City Council, Vice Mayor Sue Chan, Councilmember Vinnie Bacon, Councilmember Lily May, and Councilmember Rick Jones. I also want to thank Anu Nanarashan and Raj Talwan for their years of dedication and service to the city of Fremont. A few years ago, we made it our goal to tell the Fremont story and not be the Bay Area's best-kept secret any longer. As you can see from these headlines, I think our efforts are paying off. From Bloomberg and the Washington Post to CNET and local coverage, people are taking notice, and we're being recognized for our unique way of thinking. It's an honor to be part of local government that's receiving national attention to the work that we do. In Fremont, our development efforts are laying the groundwork for what's to come, especially on the jobs front. In fact, Wallet Hub ranked Fremont number 5 on the list of cities to find a job. Oh, and speaking of jobs, Fremont continues to gain recognition as being a regional leader in advanced manufacturing. Last year, we celebrated National Manufacturing Day for the 2nd year in a row, tripling the number of Fremont companies who open their doors to tours to students. We also debuted this infographic, which tells the story of American manufacturing comeback and the role Fremont plays in this story. Did you know that nearly 900 companies across 185 industries manufacture right here in Fremont, making up about 23% of our workforce? This is well above the national average. It is for this reason that manufacture is the defining characteristic of Fremont's innovation district strategy. For those who've said that manufacturing cannot be a driver in this innovation district phenomenon, just look to Warm Springs, anchored by the world's most advanced automobile manufacturer, Tesla. Their growth continues to impress everyone as they prepare to launch the new Model X later this year, in addition to the widely successful Model S. The Model X is currently undergoing testing, so don't be surprised if you see a mysterious futuristic car zooming through town. Today, Tesla is officially Fremont's largest employer with nearly 5,000 workers and growing. To date, they've exceeded the number of new employees when they closed their doors just a few years ago. But the story's even bigger than Tesla alone. As they ramp up production, supplier must meet the demand too. I frequently hear stories from both longtime Fremont companies like A Steel Flash and new members of our community like Eclipse Automation about being part of Tesla's supply chain. It is this supply chain effect that offers Fremont a tremendous opportunity to be the heart of the Bay Area's electric vehicle cluster. We're also making sure that our policies support this growth. Just last year, we adopted the electric vehicle ordinance, which broadened the areas where EV activity can occur in the city. Some have already taken note. For instance, we welcomed Gen Z, maker of electric two-wheelers and bicycles, to Fremont last year. Just next door to Tesla, we celebrated one of the several exciting corporate expansion stories of our exciting milestones for the Warm Spring Community Plan. Thermo Fisher held a grand opening for its new Diagnostic Center of Excellence, a 278,000 square foot R&D manufacturing facility. This allowed Thermo Fisher to consolidate and expand its Fremont operations and bring nearly 600 employees into one state-of-the-art facility, providing them important room for future growth. At a cost of $75 million, this project is the largest single investment by this global powerhouse that calls Fremont home. And speaking of openings, we look forward to October, when SEAGATE will open their doors to their state-of-the-art facility that will employ 700 people and help them deliver the next generation of data storage to Silicon Valley and the world. And this fall will also be the official opening of Delta Products' new U.S. headquarters. Delta's with us today. As the first private LEED Platinum building in Fremont, this 170,000 square foot facility will make an impressive statement at a key entrance to our innovation district. They join Lam Research, who is also expanding its headquarters, adding a new building to its campus just next door. Down at Dixon Landing at 880, Overton Moore has just about completed the crossings at 880, a 700,000 square foot project that's already completely leased out, while the paint is still drying. The strong terrain for this new high-quality industrial space is validated by the tenants at the crossings, which include a little company you might have heard of called Apple, Pivot Interiors, and office furniture supplies, and the first business for Northern California, a place called Living Spaces, a well-known Southern California company in Southern California. Also noteworthy, completion of the crossings means the extension of Fremont Boulevard to Dixon Landing, creating a significant new commuter connection to Silicon Valley. We look forward to a ribbon cutting for that event this spring. This project has led the way for what has become a true industrial development boom in Fremont. Look for more to come as Prologis breaks ground on this year to Silicon Valley Logistic Parks with 2 new industrial buildings total nearly 700,000 square feet. Not only are we excited about this expansion of our new development activity, check out some of these companies making headlines. Artilax and Zozana Farm are 2 Fremont biotech companies that held IPOs totaling 60 million and 50 million respectively. German pharmaceutical manufacturer Boehringer Ingelheim won the 2014 East Bay Innovation Award for advanced manufacturing for their truly cutting-edge operations here in Fremont. Founder of Fremont-based LED lighting company Sora won the Nobel Prize in Physics. Organic spice manufacturer Spicely Organics is expanding their production operation here and receiving recognition for their product at Whole Foods and their boutique showroom in downtown San Francisco. IT consulting firm Sigma Way ranked on the Business Journal list of fastest growing private companies with a staggering 51.2% revenue growth in the past 2 years. And some of our, thanks, yes. Some of our female CEOs are making their own headlines, leading innovative companies right here in Fremont and doing their part to keep Fremont's economic engines firing. Last month, SmartAsset listed Fremont as the 3rd best paying city for women in tech, with the gender... It gets better, but that's okay. With a gender pay earning ratio of 87% and the only Bay Area city in the top 15 cities. Hearing these stories makes it clear why business retention and expansion is so integral in our economic development strategy. We know that most of our growth will come from companies just like I mentioned. And this strategy is paying dividends, literally. In the past few years, significant expansion by companies like Thermo Fisher, Delta, SEAGATE, Lam Research, and Western Digital have totaled nearly $500 million of investment in our community. But not, sure, that's a $500 million. But not surprisingly, some of our most notable headlines happened in clean tech, a sector where we continue to grow and where Fremont maintains a distinct competitive advantage based on strategic policy and our local industry expertise. Case in point, we had a big announcement just recently that Solar City has leased a former Solyndra facility to house R&D operations, which results from the Fremont acquisition of Fremont-based Soliva Solar. With all the innovation activity that I've just described, we're more committed than ever to developing Fremont's Innovation District, a combination of Warm Springs area, Bayside, and other employment areas in South Fremont. Look for increased branding in the very near future. And continuing with our national recognition, we have leveraged new research by the Brookings Institution about innovation district models and distinguishing ourselves as one of the few places to have an advanced manufacturing anchored innovation district. We also take pride in thinking outside the box and liken our way of doing things to that of an up-and-coming Silicon Valley business rather than a city government. We continue to look for strategic ways to partner with stakeholders to help us shape Fremont's future. You know, nowhere is that more evident than with our city's two key initiatives, the Downtown and Warm Springs Innovation District. With these two initiatives, our city government is driving development and creating economic opportunity for our community with the private sector. We're focusing on partnerships with our regional public agencies as well as the private sector because we cannot do this alone. If you haven't noticed yet, downtown Fremont's offering up some new views from Capitol Avenue looking towards Fremont Boulevard. The city acquired a 3-story building last April, and our staff worked diligently with the impacted business owners to assist them in finding new locations here in Fremont. This past September, the community witnessed the demolition of a 3-story office building on what will now be the intersection of Fremont Boulevard and Capitol Avenue. The demolition was the building of a critical the building was a critical step towards extending Capitol Avenue to Main Street, the new downtown Fremont. The extension is the linchpin that will provide connections between transit options, regional shopping centers, major employment centers, surrounding neighborhoods, and to a centralized downtown. Phase 1 of the Capitol Avenue Extension project is scheduled to be completed in June, and funding for these improvements come from a $5.8 million One Bay Area grant. We will begin streetscape improvements on Capitol Avenue from State Street to Paseo Padre beginning this summer. This summer will also mark the groundbreaking for downtown's first new mixed-use project, the State Street project with developer Saris Regis. This catalytic project will spur a mix of development from retail to downtown, creating 22,000 square feet of retail and 145 residential units for sale. And the Civic Center Master Plan, which was approved by Council last July, it will truly become a significant focal point. Development will occur in 3 phases and help us shape the city's future downtown. And as we make headway on the construction of our new downtown, we're creating Fremont's social heartbeat, which will serve as the community gathering place to eat, play, mingle, and connect. This will all happen before, during, and after construction. Last year, we hosted a successful season of Fremont Underground Social Experience, otherwise known as FUSE. And this year, we're looking forward to the return of the Chamber's popular Fremont Street Eats, our very own gourmet food truck event every Friday night starting in May. And for all you burger and beer lovers, mark your calendar for May 23rd for the Chamber's new downtown event, Burger and Brew Fest. Cindy's happy with the plug, see, that's good. We're working with some new programming for the downtown. You can look forward to a new farmers market in downtown on Wednesdays starting in May, a downtown date night movie night late summer, and a spirited Halloween event in mid-fall. And to accommodate the ever-growing medical needs in Fremont, Washington Hospital just broke ground for their new critical care pavilion and begun pile driving for their new parking structure, while Kaiser Permanente is investing $13 million in upgrading its radiology and imaging department and adding new technology and equipment to better serve patients. And across the street, Palo Alto Medical Foundation Surgery Center and parking structure are nearly complete. I'm sure you'll agree with me, downtown Fremont is truly on the rise. Moving on now to South Fremont, amazing things are also happening in Warm Springs. The council adopted the Warm Springs South Fremont Community Plan on July 22nd last year. The plan is the guiding blueprint that transforms underutilized industrial lands into a 21st century transit-oriented, jobs-focused development. All in all, there's an opportunity to create 20,000 jobs and 4,000 new housing units. We're hitting the ground running by implementing the Warm Springs South Fremont Community Plan through private investment. Just last week, the City Council approved Lennar's project on 111 acres just north of the Tesla factory. The plan calls for a sustainable mixed-use development district with the potential for 4,100 jobs and 2,214 housing units adjacent to the Warm Springs South Fremont Station. This will include Innovation Way, the prime Class A employment gateway to the district, and a mixed-use development that will offer strategically urban living and working opportunities within a short walking distance of the BART, providing alternative form of transportation for people who live and work in the area. The approval includes $54 million in affordable housing, $35 million in infrastructure, money for a park, and extra funds for a state-of-the-art school, which I'll tell you about in a moment. Construction is anticipated to begin by spring of next year. And as a result of the city's leadership and our comprehensive work with the Warm Springs Community Plan, the Fremont Unified School District and the development community are partnering to build a brand new elementary school. This marks the first time in recent history the development community has come together with the school district to provide the land and also build a school. Currently, the district and the development team, which consists of Lennar, Toll Brothers, and Valley Oak, are solidifying an agreement. Additional school impact fees and funds provided by the developers will be collected and used to serve the existing junior high and high school that this state-of-the-art school will feed into. I am proud of the work the city, the district, the applicant, and the community did to get us where we are today. It's truly a historic moment. Fitting for our new innovation district, we've seen some tremendous progress of the Warm Springs South Fremont BART station. It's been incredible to watch the transformation of 34 acres of dirt into an innovative transportation hub. We look forward to Warm Springs Boulevard improvements later this spring, and be sure to mark your calendar for late December when Fremont's second BART station opens up. Which is great news because VTA's 10-mile BART Silicon Valley Berryessa extension project is now more than halfway complete. The project's still tracking ahead of schedule, and passenger service is planned for the later part of 2017. You've just heard about some of the great things happening in downtown and Warm Springs. These two projects will bring focus to Fremont and allow for future development in our historic districts, where I'm pleased to report we have exciting news in every corner of our city, and I'm happy to share a few of them with you. In an effort to preserve Mission San Jose's historic integrity, yet also continue building towards the future, we have Palmdale Estates, the St. Joseph's Priory, and Mission Palms. These projects are either under construction soon or will be, and look forward to their openings. Over in Irvington, Monument Plaza, a 6,800 square foot retail center was recently built on vacant lot, and it's speculative retail space for now, including a Starbucks featuring outdoor seating. In Centerville, we're making progress on Artist Walks, a mixed-use project that is the former Centerville Unified site. Artist Walk will bring 185 apartment units and 28,000 square feet of ground floor retail along Fremont Boulevard. The developer has submitted building permit for review and approval, and construction is expected to begin in late summer or fall of this year. In Niles, we'll be replacing the Niles Boulevard Bridge, one of the gateways into our historic district, which spans over the Union Pacific Railroad and BART tracks at the Fremont-Union City border. With an $11 million price tag, we're using federal and state funds to ensure the new bridge will enhance seismic reliability. And up in Ardenwood, we're seeing some great investments in our park system. I'm pleased to report that Karl E. Nordvik Park got a makeover to include 100,000 plus square foot state-of-the-art synthetic turf field. It's equipped with lights to allow for nighttime and daytime use, additional parking, and is available for use and rent. And we continue to look for opportunities to improve our award-winning park system elsewhere in the city. We converted some of our Central Park soccer fields to a mixed-use synthetic turf cricket and soccer field. Such conversion increases use fourfold, one cricket fan in the audience, and decreases maintenance by 75%. Our staff's working with enthusiastic representatives of the cricket community, and we're looking forward to Fremont's first cricket field to meet the standards for regional cricket club competition. More cricket fans, see? All these renovations show just how committed we are to increasing the quality of life in Fremont and ensuring that our city continues to be a fantastic place to call home. And that's great news. After all, Fremont was ranked as the second best city to raise children, according to MyLife.com. And NerdWallet and Business Insider recognize Fremont as one of the nation's top cities for working parents. You know, while recognitions like these in Silicon Valley's strong economy are generally good news for Fremont, one downside is the corresponding increase in housing costs that makes it difficult for lower and middle income residents to afford housing. That's why it's important for the Fremont to continue to work with the development community and advocates to make sure Fremont has affordable and available housing for people at all levels. A couple of noteworthy projects I'd like to include are nonprofit developer Mid-Penn's housing, completion of a top-to-bottom rehabilitation at Century Village Apartments, a 100-unit affordable complex. And Laguna Commons, a 64-unit complex which houses extremely low income and will set aside 25 units reserved for veterans at risk of homelessness. I'm proud of this project's emphasis on helping local veterans who have bravely served our country so they'll never be described as being homeless. Construction on this project started earlier this month. And it's great to see that Fremont Senior Center being used as a winter warming center to provide a warm, safe environment for homeless residents of Fremont and the greater Tri-City area. Even in a historically dry winter, we served 129 homeless individuals for 20 nights with an average of 20 people per night. I applaud the City Human Service Department, who is working in partnership with City Serve Compassion Network to provide volunteers and hot dinners, and with support from Abode Services. I also want to thank Karl for underwriting hot breakfasts to go for the participants, and to our Senior Center chef for whipping up a hearty meal. Another program that warms our hearts is Fremont's Make a Difference Day. From providing meals to needy and haircuts to low-income residents and shelter beautifications, I'm always appreciative of the generosity of our community. I want to thank the 2,877 volunteers who came out in October and participated in 100 planned projects throughout Fremont on one day, which is more than we had in the prior year. Also up is Alto Adventure Water Park, which had a record-breaking year hosting more than 90,000 guests and increasing revenue by over 20% over last year. With these additional revenues generated, our Recreation Service Department is able to give back to the community with over $100,000 in scholarships annually to low-income Fremont families. And in other news of increases, I'm also pleased to report that the Auto Mall is officially full and continues to be a powerhouse among other Bay Area auto malls. New dealers have been announced, reflecting the strong demographics here. In addition, CarMax anticipates starting construction in late spring and will add significant activity to the Auto Mall with its ability to attract such a large, diverse customer base from across the region. And across the street from Auto Mall is Pacific Commons. It continues to be a huge success and even going through a bit of a renaissance. Under new ownership and management, there's plans in store for additional placemaking elements throughout the center, as well as events like a farmer's market, all of which contribute towards making this regional powerhouse a shopping and entertainment destination. And the block is nearly complete and almost fully leased, with new tenants including Dick's Sporting Goods, Buffalo Wild Wings, the Kebab Shop, and Blaze Pizza. The addition of Dick's Sporting Goods is a great example of filling a long-time void in our community, and there's more to come. Pause, look, there. As the city continues to grow, we enthusiastically welcome new businesses to town. Yet we've also had to say goodbye to some long-standing Fremont favorites whose history is woven into the fabric of our community. While goodbyes are often bittersweet, I'm pleased that retailers are finally taking note of our strong demographics. Building on the success of Fremont and Whole Foods, downtown tenants like Pyology, The Counter, and Boudin Bakeries are early examples of what's likely to come. And retail advancements are good for our bottom line. On the budget front, we're pleased that our top 5 revenue generators, consisting of property tax, sales tax, franchise fees, business tax, and hotel tax, are all showing moderate growth. We estimate that we'll have a fund balance of slightly over $1.2 million at the end of this fiscal year, mainly due to the additional projected revenue from sales tax. The council continues to strategically invest where possible in our city's unmet needs, like of unfunded liabilities, street maintenance, and public safety, which you'll hear about shortly. In the next 4 years alone, nearly $40 million will be spent on our streets. And speaking of streets improvements, with the passage of Measure BB, good things are coming to Fremont. Initial revenue estimates indicate an additional increase of $2 million annually above and beyond Council's investment in our unmet needs for local streets and road projects. In Warm Springs alone, we'll use Measure BB funds to build a west access bridge to connect a new Warm Springs South Fremont BART station to the Innovation District. We're also exploring some transit demand management systems options for the BART station, including shuttle programs, bike share, and electric pod system to attract commuters into public transportation. The final design for the bridge and public plaza are under review and construction to start by mid-2016. I want to personally right now thank Supervisor Scott Haggerty, who was the chair of the Measure BB program, and he's going to help us deliver some of these projects. Please help me thank Supervisor Haggerty. Did you bring the checkbook with you? And as safety continues to be a top priority for us, I'm proud to report that real estate company Movado recently ranked Fremont as the 3rd safest place to live in America. Our partnership with the Fremont community is a meaningful part of this significant achievement. The city has experienced 2 straight years of a 4% decrease in the types of crimes you see listed on the screen. Programs where the community and the police department come together, such as sharing video footage of crimes that neighborhoods have recorded, are one of the reasons we have seen a reduction in crime. I encourage Fremont residents and Fremont businesses to work with our police department and register your video camera system with the department as part of this effective program. I'm also looking forward to the implementation of our citywide video network. I want to thank the men and women of the Fremont Police Department and the entire Fremont community for their investment in the safety of our city. As an example of joint agency cooperation, in January, the Fremont Police Department and Union City Police Department began the first phase of contracting Union City Dispatch through Fremont Police Department's Communication Center. We anticipate saving approximately $400,000 annually through this consolidation, as well as producing other benefits for the operations through our communication center. Moving on to the fire department, I'm pleased to report that given the improved economy, Fire Station number 11 on the Bayside area of our Innovation District finally opened on January 2nd. The station, which is the city's first public gold-level LEED building, brings the Fremont Fire Department back to full staffing with 11 stations located throughout the city to ensure the best possible response times for emergencies. And speaking of new additions to the fire department, last December we welcomed 7 new probationary firefighters, all of whom graduated after a rigorous 17-week recruit academy. And when our city departments are unified and work together to solve community issues such as traffic safety and graffiti, the public wins. Our police department's efforts to reduce injury collisions, coupled with the efforts of our traffic engineering and street maintenance crews, as well as the Fremont Unified School District, help keep our streets safe, especially around schools. Through this collaborative effort, we recently completed significant traffic signal improvements along Fremont Boulevard next to 2 of our high schools. These improvements are making it safer for pedestrians in the immediate area. I appreciate everyone's patience as these projects were developed. And when safety is concerned, a few months of being inconvenienced is certainly worth it in the end. We're also sprucing up our streets and combating graffiti through a new box art program. We're working with local artists to create street murals on many of our traffic signal control boxes. I look forward to keeping this momentum going on this artsy project, while also focusing on the city's efforts of being green. I'm proud to announce that Fremont is one of 50 communities across the nation competing for the Georgetown University Energy Prize, a 2-year challenge to reduce residential, municipal, and public school energy use with a $5 million prize for the best performing community. Based on community feedback, we're developing a green community challenge for residents to commit to sustainable actions at home and gain access to resources that will help them save energy and water, reduce waste, and go solar. The city's also doing its part by helping Fremont win the energy prize by upgrading city facilities with energy and water efficient systems and solar installations, and replacing existing street lights with LEDs. Recently, we switched out 351 bulbs along Mallory from 880 interchange to Peralta, and along Walnut and Argonaut from Mallory to Mission. And I'm happy to report the construction of for the first 3 planned solar carports in the city facilities started this week. This work was the result of a unique collaboration between 19 different government agencies that band together to purchase solar as a group. And for the city, it'll help us save money. To assist others fulfilling the sustainable goals, we continue to fast-track solar permitting process and have opened up an express permit center. These efforts are just a sampling of the city's sustainable actions. What will you do to reduce your carbon footprint? I encourage all Fremont residents and businesses to commit to the Green Community Challenge so we can work together to bring home the $5 million sustainable prize. So you've heard today from the state of the city that the state of the city is good. Our economy continues to grow in a modest and healthy manner. We continue to look for partnerships and stakeholders to work collaboratively with members of our community. We continue to invest in our city so a child in a Fremont school today can have a place to live and work when they're finished with their education. Our city will continue to work with those who need help and to work with those who are willing to join us in those efforts. And lastly, our city will continue to be bold, innovative, and green, to look to Silicon Valley for solutions and continue to push the boundaries and take smart risks to distinguish Fremont as a leader of innovation. Thank you very much. I will take a few questions, but before that, I'd like you to join me in please thanking Cheryl Golden, Fremont's communication manager, for all her work on this project. And if we have time, if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to take some questions. About the Burger and Brew Fest, maybe that was. Thank you very much, everyone.